at one time, I had a client, and she called me in the middle of the night, early morning, that she had gotten into a huge fight with her father at home, and she wanted to leave the home, but she had nowhere to go, and she wanted me to pick her up. So it was, the middle of the night, and if I wouldn't have gone to pick her up, I mean, I just can imagine, like, maybe I don't know what would have happened to this young lady, because she's a young girl by herself going out into the streets. So there was like five approaches that I used with her. And I use them with all my clients. So first, I want to make sure she was safe. So if that meant for me to go ahead and get up and come out of my home to go get her, that was number one. Was I had to make sure she was safe. And at that time, I had to make a choice. Do I just say, oh, it's not, I'm not really working right now, or let me call somebody else, or let me call your parents? No, I had to make a choice because of the fact that she chose me. She chose to call me to make sure that she was safe. And then I had to collaborate with not just myself and her. I had to also collaborate with her parents to let them know, like, look, she did call me. I'm gonna pick her up. She'll be okay with me. So that's where the trust comes in. So there was a trust issue there as well. The parents knew me. They trusted me to make sure that she would be okay. She trusted me enough to call me. So that's huge right there. Because see, then that also it that can bring up like maybe unresolved trauma for us as working on the ground with these people, because maybe when we were growing up we didn't have those same people to call, and we didn't have people that we were able to trust, and that's why maybe sometimes some of the decisions that we made in life maybe took us down a different road because we didn't have mentors like us when we were growing up. So that's huge. Trust is huge. And then I had to empower her to make better decisions in the things that she was doing that maybe she was arguing about with her father. She really thought about it and didn't want to regress and get violated and get sent back to camp. So she chose to be able to call me and talk about it. So she did have some negative thoughts where she did want to go out and just do dumb things that would get her more time, but she was like, let me call Tina and see. So I just basically when I picked her up, I just let her express herself, and she was, cussing and telling me how she felt, and, just sharing everything with me on how she was so angry and so upset, and she wanted to do dumb things, and she was just like, forget it. It's not worth it. I just want to, like, go back to my old ways. And then I just listened to her, had the conversation. I said, okay. So after she was done talking, I let her express herself. Then I said, okay, let's take a deep breath and let's think about the whole picture, and let's talk about what led up to this. What got your dad so upset that got you so upset? And then that's when we just kind of analyzed and started breaking it down one step at a time. Okay, well maybe you shouldn't have done this, and then maybe this wouldn't have happened, or if you would have did this wouldn't have happened. And then after spending about 2 hours with her of talking and calming her down, she actually really thought about it, went home and apologized to her dad, and then things were a little bit better from that point going forward.
One of the times that I really had to seriously check my emotions was dealing with one of our younger clients and her son, right? Uh, and just like abuse in the home, right? Uh, so she was having a situation with her children's father that resulted in the baby being hurt. Uh, and we have spent a lot of time with the young lady and her child. So I think when she initially came into the center and told us about it, our initial reactions, because we do come from a different background, right? Our initial reactions were to kind of like jump in and go into the community and deal with it. But I think that we all stopped for a second and we're mindful that we needed to take a deep breath before we jumped in and did anything with the situation. Because I think when anything involves a child, like we initially get emotional, right? We know that we shouldn't be abusing each other regardless, right? But definitely, um, no one should be abusing children. I think that that was one of the times that always sticks out to me because I can say like that was one of the moments that really pushed me to feel like my old self. It really like pushed me to have that reaction of how I would handle things in the past. You know, not someone who has worked on themselves and been like through the healing process and working on their personal healing, just from all of their own trauma. But the initial reaction was just to get in the streets and like handle it like we know it should be, right? Um, so I think that that's one of the main times that stands out to me. That just really reminded me that taking a deep breath before you make any action is super important, right? Just really taking a step back and analyzing the moment before you do anything.